Hey, g'day, it's Matt here from Matt Carves. Today we're going to have a look at sanding, sort of like attachments for your Dremel, and at the end I'm going to sort of like show other things as well. But we're going to look at carving, well not carving today, sanding today, sanding details and also like large kind of like concaves and convexes. Okay, so the first attachment I want to look at is this one here. It is the POLIWELL, I think that's how you say it, Dremel disc sander, and virtually it's just sort of like a disc that goes onto there. It's a little bit spongy as you can see, and you can put a little disc with Velcro on there. One caveat is you have to sort of like lower the speed of the Dremel. I do it sort of somewhere in between 10 and 15 RPM. And what you can do as well is you can make your own discs as well. You can sort of make it a little bit bigger if you wanted to, like on there, or you could make it square. The good thing about making it square is you don't tend to get sort of like a round, especially on like these ones. If you hold it there too long, it is going to sort of put a little round dent into your wood. But I'll show you that very shortly. Okay, so I did this spoon quite a while ago, and it's a beautiful spoon, and so you've got the concave on the back, and no, convex on the back and concave here. So when you're sanding with this, you're not going to go in on an angle like that. I tend to sort of like go, and I'm hitting that, just that little bit there, and sort of lightly going down like this, right? And sort of going like that. Now you can stick a square one on, and the beauty with that is it's going to bend a little bit more, but just experiment with those kind of things. And also sort of with this one, you can do convexes. The key to convexes with any kind of burr is you can't really hold it in one place for too long. So what you want to do is you want to move it around fast like this, and so it's really sort of like not forming these flat areas if you hold it in one place, but just really go fast when you're going over this. So that is at 5. We'll take it up to, that's 10. And so you can sort of see if I'm doing it here, I'll try and really focus that. I'm just going to be going down like that. And it looks quite tedious, but it does actually go pretty quickly. And you can sort of go around like that as well. And so it depends on what kind of, so it always depends on what grit you have on here, and these come with a variety of grits. I think I've been using them for about 2 years now, and they are really good. I've suggested them to other people and they really like them as well. For all of these things, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. They are affiliate links, so I get a little bit of money for them, but you know, you've got to survive somehow. It's okay, like I said before, you can do convexes with them. You just got to move it really fast. So you can sort of see if I hold it here for very long, it's going to leave that flat bit there. But if I sort of move it faster and go like this, see, so I'm looking at these kind of parts here, and they've got a little bit of squareness to them, so I'll just go over them like that. You know, and you're not trying to get it perfect. What you're trying to do is get it to a point where you think you can do sort of like hand sandpapering to finish it off. So look at that, that's looking pretty nice. So you can sort of see it there compared to the rest, that bit there. Okay, so I showed you before, like you can have a square bit on there as well. So I just cut this off some ones that I had, some bigger discs. Just take this off. This is a 1/8 shank on here, so it will go into your normal Dremel there. Let's put that one in, tighten it up. So I'll lower this one down a bit because it's a bit bigger. So we'll go down to probably 8-ish. And this is 340, I think. So you've got to be quite careful with this. I might... So that's working quite nice. That's sort of like got that bit there, just in there. Probably try it on the other side as well. Oh yeah, that's working pretty well. And I'm not really using a lot of pressure here. So you can sort of see it bending towards like the spoon. So this would sort of like be a finishing off one after you've kind of shaped it quite well. You can actually sort of like shape other things with this. You could go around and do these bits here. Quite good for getting under things as well, like in there, those kind of areas like that. But sort of like your Viking helmet there, and you could sort of take it in there as well. So go out a bit there. I find this really, really useful for these kind of things and sort of like these blobs, and you sort of can get some quite good kind of areas like that. Now I have tried these Dremel drum sanders, and I think they do have their uses, but I find them a little bit kind of like restricting. I just find that flat kind of thing, and you can go like this, really, really handy. So that is the POLIWELL disc sander, really good. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is these sort of like flap sanders, I guess well, not flap sanders, but sort of these sanders here. Now a lot of people make their own. I bought these ready-made. They sounded quite expensive, but they're lasting a very long time. So this is what they look like when you first put them on, and then they can kind of look like this once they get going. And sometimes actually it's really, really nice once they get like this, because they're a little bit softer. So, and it's a good recommendation, like once you put them on, is just put them against a piece of wood and sort of like really spin it a little bit, just to fluff up the ends a little bit. So what these are really, really good for, I find, is sort of like once you've done your mustache and all of that, and you just want to sort of like go over everything really, really lightly and take off the fluffy bits. I really find it useful for that. And these come in 2 different grits. This is, what are they? We've got a, well, the size of them is 1 inch, and that's a 1/8 shaft. And so we've got a 120 grit on that, and there's 100 in each pack, made in the USA. And in this one, it's a 220 grit. So yeah, depending on what you want to do. So we'll use this one. I think one of the keys to sanding as well is decide how much you want to sand. There's no point in sanding like something like this to the nth degree, unless you really wanted to, but something like this you really want to sand really, really well. And you're always going to be finishing off with hand sandpapers and sponges when you are doing something like that. So on this Viking, as I said before, you could do the helmet with your POLIWELL disc, and then you could do the beard and maybe bits of the face with this one. The good thing about this one, it's a little bit more, I guess, flexible in getting in areas. You could sort of like go over the nose just lightly like that if you wanted to. And when you're doing the beard and mustache, just go over it really lightly. What the key is just taking out bits like that. So I will do that and show you. So I've got that on about 15 RPM. Well, 15,000 RPM. So you see that? And that's really cleaned that up. I'll just take that bit out just above it. So it sort of made it a lot nicer in there, because you don't want sort of bits like this that are going to like break off. You can sort of see them there, all these little bits, and you can just finish it off like that. And with the face and all of that, you can just gently go over it like this. Now you can, if you're tricky, is you can do a little bit of shaping with it. So I'm using that top bit there. Trying to get you close so you can see. Now I'm doing it really, really lightly, and I'm just going over it just gradually. And I'm really watching how much it's taking off. It's not going to leave a perfect finish, but it might get rid of a whole lot of other stuff. And you see there's sort of like dents in his skin there. We'll take that out, eh? So I'll just show you there, we've got those dents there, and what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use the side of it there. See how smooth that is now? I actually quite like those dents in there. Didn't get rid of it. I could go back with like a Kutzall disc and get them out, but that's pretty cool. And you can sort of like get into areas like those, and you know, there's a bit of a bit of a crossover between these two, but I really like having them both. I just find this one really good for like those flat kind of areas, but you can use this for these flat areas. You could just go up like that. Let's do that. It's probably the same there. You just got to keep it moving pretty quickly. See how that's sort of spreading out a little bit more now?
So how do you sand those really small details?
Sort of like details like in here and all that. What I would say is I tend to use diamond bits. And I have heard of other people using other kinds of bits, but in New Zealand I get these diamond bits. And these are from America. They're from Master Carver. Really nice quality to their bits. They come in a 4-pack, but these are the two that I use mostly. This is like a flame burr, so you can really get into sort of like areas like in the eye and all of those kind of things. And you can sort of use the wider part there to go over edges if you wanted to. Now the pointy one, you can sort of like use the side of it, but I tend to just use like the end of it and get into sort of areas that I want to do. Now I do find this Dremel wheel point burr really handy for real fine details. And I also use this Dremel point burr. This is just under 2 millimeters across, and what I really like about it is you can sort of get in areas and soften it out, I guess you'd say. Yeah, real soften these kind of areas out, and you can do a little bit of carving with it. Okay, we'll have a look at this the face on here, and so you can see right there's those scratches in there. So if I wanted to take those out, I would just really lightly go over them like that. Smooth out that bag. You sort of see it there. So I'm doing a little bit of shaping there as well. You see, I don't like how sharp that line is there, so what I'll do is I'll just go up and down it like this. Okay, so we've got that spoon again, and we're just going to use the wheel point burr in here. Now, it's quite hard to point out. That little bit in there, I want to get rid of that there. And the best way to do it is with a diamond burr. I know this is being a little bit pedantic, but I'm just sort of like showing you what you can do with it. So let's turn that on. So just go in there and I'd really lightly touch it. Just see what it does, and then I would sort of like take that out. I'm really touching really lightly here. Give it a little bit of a blow. And that looks pretty cool. And you can see in there's a bit scruffy in there, so I might want to take that out as well.
Now here we are using the Master Carver Flame Burr, and as you can see it's kind of like really nice for getting in those little areas, but it's still big enough to make kind of like a difference as well. Yeah, it's just really nice for getting in those areas and lightly going over it, using the sort of like the larger part of it to take out those scratches. And you would always go in with like sandpaper afterwards and touch it up for a spoon like this that you want to really finish well. Now there is a multitude of different shaped diamond burrs, and you can use them for different parts of your carving just to smooth off areas. I'm not going to go into all of them. You've got your T-shaped burrs, your bowl-shaped burrs, and all of those kind of ones, and they come in different sizes, so check those out as well.
Okay, so if you're really into doing really nice kind of carvings as well, I kind of find hand sandpapers are really nice to use. And apart from the paper ones, which everyone kind of knows how to use, I tend to use these sponge ones as well. This is 180 grit. And great thing about these is they kind of conform to your work that you're working on. So if I'm carving this, I mean like sanding this around here, you can sort of see it sort of like form around it. And if you're doing the concave, it's really where you put your finger or thumb, you know, and you kind of want to try and get it to the shape of that. So we're trying to just get like that around there. And these all come in different grits, so I've got some 320 I think as well. These ones I got from Amazon, but you can pick them up in your local hardware store as well. Really nice for doing just edges like that. But yeah, I wouldn't, like, if I was doing this, I wouldn't bother doing like this unless you really wanted to like get it fined up, because you're carving like a Viking. It's got to look a little bit rugged anyway, you know what I mean? So yeah, so they have their place. I actually quite like these as well. They all they're kind of like almost like a real kind of a finishing. They're kind of soft. They just, you kind of throw away things. I've got these off Amazon, and each color is a little bit softer than the other one. And what you can do is you can quickly go over something and it will take off any loose bits and polish it up a little bit as well. If you were to do the spoon, you probably finish it by doing this in here with one of these, a soft one. Yeah, so pretty much that's sanding for you. It's not fun. Well, sometimes it is. Once you finish it, it looks awesome, and put some oil on it and you're away laughing. Right. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in to this video. Sorry, videos have been a little bit slow getting them out lately, just because of life has kind of got in the way. Yeah, so happy days. Okay, we'll see you later, everybody.